Welcome back to ILTV on the Hour. We're bringing you the biggest headlines from Israel and the Middle East in just 5 minutes. I'm Sivan Raviv, and let's get into all the top headlines of this hour. Hamas continues to delay the return of murdered hostages' remains, drawing sharp criticism from both U.S. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Following Monday's return of 4 bodies, another convoy carrying 4 coffins crossed into Israel overnight and was taken to the National Center of Forensic Medicine for identification. This morning, 3 were confirmed. Uriel Baruch, 35, from Givon, kidnapped and murdered at the Nova Festival. IDF soldier Tamir Nimrodi, 20, from Nirit, and Eitan Levi, 53, a taxi driver from Bat Yam, taken while dropping off a friend at Kibbutz Be'eri. Officials said the 4th body returned last night did not belong to an Israeli hostage, but to a member of Hamas. With these returns, 7 hostages' bodies have now come home since the deal took effect, while 21 remain to be brought back. Hamas has reportedly told mediators it will transfer 4 more later today. These latest identifications follow Tuesday's return of Guy Iluz, 26, Bipin Jossi, 24, Yossi Sharabi, 53, and Captain Daniel Peretz, 22, all now laid to rest. Families of those still missing say the slow timetable dictated by Hamas is unbearable and insist the agreement must be fulfilled in full. Back in Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump warned Hamas to carry out its obligations under the agreement or face the consequences. Trump said Tuesday that Hamas has told his top aides that it will disarm and that the terror group could be dealt with violently if they refuse to do so. He also pressed the Palestinian terror group to follow through with its release of all the dead hostages still being held in the Strip. Let's take a listen to Trump.
On Gaza, how long will it take Hamas to disarm, and can you guarantee that is going to happen?
Well, they're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you. But if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games, okay? Now, we did something monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do. Above all else, get the hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages, if we can use those terms. And it seems as though they don't have that because...
Meanwhile, the 20 freed hostages reunited with their families on Monday. They've now spent 2 days back in Israel after the tears, cheers, and hugs following 2 years in Hamas captivity. Among the touching moments, Guy Gilboa Delal was greeted by his family in matching t-shirts printed, "Guy's home, the heart is whole again," with his father wrapped in an Israeli flag. Other reunions included Avinatan Or with his girlfriend and former hostage Noah Argamani, and Omri Miran speaking to his young daughters via video call before embracing them in person. While Israel observes the ceasefire, reports from Gaza describe a violent internal purge by Hamas. Hamas gunmen have reportedly executed dozens of Palestinians in public as the group seeks to reassert control after the war. The IDF largely dismantled Hamas's organized military structure, but armed cells have resurfaced across Gaza. According to local sources, at least 33 people have been murdered since the ceasefire began, accused of collaborating with Israel or belonging to rival factions. Social media videos show masked fighters forcing men to kneel in the streets before opening fire as crowds look on. Footage also shows Hamas's elite shadow unit redeploying in southern Gaza, the same unit that held Israeli hostages during the war. The executions highlight the growing instability in Gaza and reinforce calls by Israel and the U.S. that Hamas must be disarmed and removed from power for any lasting peace to take hold. That's all for this edition of ILTV. Stay tuned for further updates on the hour or download our app by scanning the QR code on your screen. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sivan Raviv. Thanks for watching.